on both of her hands had to be amputated. The pain was indescribable and constant. She depends on her father to take care of her. She fights every day to recover. Since the crash, she has had 50 operations, and many more will be necessary.
In 2003, on his 20th birthday, Jacob was convicted of 1 count of intoxication manslaughter for the death of Sonia. He is serving a 7-year sentence at the Luther Unit of the Georgia Department of Corrections.
I went from a football field on Friday to a prison cell on Sunday. That quick. Through the choices I made on one Saturday. And so it can happen. I had never been in any trouble before in my life. I had never gotten any DWIs or gotten in trouble with alcohol at all. But the one time that I made that horrible decision, and the one time that I got in trouble, one time, it was devastating. And the fact that drinking and driving isn't a joke, it's not something to play around with. It's real, and these are the consequences. All of a sudden, you're in this whole new world, here you go, and you're by yourself. You're alone. And it's a shock.
Outside, Rick.
You always have a correctional officer telling you what to do and when to do it. Everywhere you go, you get strip searched, and make sure you're not bringing anything in or taking anything out where you're not supposed to take it. The lights come on at breakfast at 2 o'clock in the morning and stay on because people come and go. Lights out is at 10:30. It's definitely not like sleeping at home. It's a sparse lifestyle. I probably miss the most, I miss my family, my friends, the people that I've known all my life. They've always been a top priority for me, and something that I've always cared very deeply about. So that is probably the hardest thing to deal with.
My life before was completely different. I was independent, 100% independent. I did rely on my family financially, but I could do most things on my own. I attended school, drove my car, went to parties, and performed. In other words, a typical life for a 17-year-old. Now I'm a bit more afraid because I don't trust myself. Not because I'm different internally, but rather externally, in that I can't do things that I could before. My family has to help me with my daily tasks like putting on my clothes and getting my shoes on my feet and many other things I used to do on my own. I had aspirations of going to college, touring with a theater group, and having a family. Now my goals are much more basic. I have to learn through therapy to take care of myself and come to grips with the reality of my new life. It's very difficult because before the accident, all the doors were open, but yet now many seem closed.
I'm a normal person. I was a normal high school student. Anybody can come to prison, and anybody can be involved in a drinking and driving collision. It's not something that just happens to alcoholics or the trouble kids.
Something that I've always dreamed about was to pursue an acting career, but of course there's no way that I can become an actress now. Because the reality is that acting requires many physical qualities, which I regrettably no longer have.
Knowing what's happened, knowing the damage that I've caused to so many people and so many families, it's something that I can't describe to anybody.
The person that caused my accident destroyed my life completely.
And the prison sentence is nothing compared to the life sentence that I'm going to live with, knowing what I did and the consequences of what I did. The loss of life. It didn't have to happen, period.
Tanamaya Ramos lives with her parents in Columbus, Georgia, to be near her doctors. She faces years of additional surgery and medical care. She continues to play music. She appears in various ad campaigns urging people not to drink and drive.
Not too long ago, I was in high school, and I was out there, I was making the same decisions that most of you were making. I was going out there on the weekends, and I'd hang out with my friends, and I'd drink. We'd drink. It was the thing to do. But you see, one of the bad decisions that I made was getting behind the wheel to go home. And you could very easily make that same decision. You might have made it before. But I want to let you know you have a choice. There are a number of things you can do. First of all, if you don't drink, you can't be impaired. But you can probably call one of your friends that hasn't been drinking. Or maybe get a designated driver in the first place so you don't have to wait till the last minute. Or you can even call your parents. And you might have to suffer a little consequence for it, but I'm sure they'd be much happier having you home alive than in a body bag or behind bars. So I can get up here and I can tell you not to drink. I can tell you not to drink and drive. But in the end, the decision is going to be yours. And you have to make that choice. And so I hope you make the right decision and not the same decision that I did.
This is a picture of me before I was hit by a drunk driver, before the car caught on fire, before my best friend died, before I needed over 40 operations. This is me when my life was just like anyone else in high school. This is me after being hit by a drunk driver.
Don't drink and drive, ever.
Folks, what you've seen today has been a dramatization, but it's been a very accurate one, a very real one. Crashes are horrible regardless of the circumstances, but when drinking and driving occur, the results are more incredibly devastating than any of us could ever imagine. Sadly, this happens many times every year, right here in Muskogee County and areas close by. Today's program is dedicated to the memory of the many young people who've lost their lives in tragic crashes and endure long, long recovery efforts in Muskogee and surrounding counties. Please don't add your name to that list. Thanks for your attention.